Alright, what have you got? This! He's resurfaced. We don't know how, but we know when. Just 20 minutes ago. Currently he's in Ohio. Good work. Get a hold of Interpol and alert the National Guard. That gets tiring after a while. You know, now that I'm back on Earth, I think I'm just gonna take it easy for a while. What the? Oh, fuck me. Ah! Hello everyone. Welcome to space. During my stay on this alien spaceship, I've learned a lot about what this universe's Earth is up to, and it is not good. But before I can explain to you what happened, let me tell you where I am. I am aboard an alien destroyer headed for Jupiter, and this is done deliberately under my direct orders. I am not stuck in here with them. They're stuck in here with me. Humanity is under threat of alien invasion, and in classic human fashion, we united. Sort of. Let's embark on an intergalactic journey of massive proportions to defeat the alien attackers trying to enslave the human race, because Terra Invicta. It all begins on Earth. In the year 2022, an alien spacecraft crash lands on Earth's surface. The wreckage was scouted, but nothing was of use. Also, its passenger appears to be gone. This marks the beginning of humans against aliens. But before we reach that page of history, we must fight ourselves first. Humanity is now fractured into different factions due to the revelation of the alien crash site and also the existence of extraterrestrial life. We'll cover each of them one by one. Starting from the very bottom, we have the servants, worshippers of the aliens and would like to serve under them as slaves. The Protectorate, the faction that does not see reason in resistance and therefore would like to negotiate a surrender so humanity may survive, even if it's a puppet of the invaders. The Initiative, a faction of elite billionaires and the world's biggest assholes, whose goal is to profit and gain power from the alien arrival, which means they are nothing but leeches that the proletariat must overthrow. The Academy, a faction of the world's greatest intellectuals who seek equal footing and stature with the aliens, and to prove it through technological advancements to then achieve a federation with the aliens. Project Exodus, a faction of cowards that would like to build a massive spaceship to lift off humanity from Earth and start anew on another planet. The Resistance, a faction of politicians and generals that seeks to defend humanity from the alien invasion, then kick them off of Earth. Humanity First, a radical faction of dictators, war criminals, but also very capable military experts and lobbyists who wants to see the aliens exterminated. Now, to start, choose your flavor of mental illness, then we can get going. These factions are weak and require the backing of world governments to receive resources and to eventually reach their goals. We call this the Earth Phase, and your goal is to influence, bribe, lobby, and eventually control nations. To do this, you have your trusty counselors that have specialized skills based on their occupation, as well as generate some form of income. Now, it's not easy to convince the government to allow you in their shadows and secretly control everything. But it is possible through propaganda campaigns, advisory missions, purges, coups d'etats, and more. By controlling the control points of a nation, you get to control one section of the nation's government, and subsequently edit the funding of several industries that all have differing effects. By controlling a nation, it will give your faction income, the most important of which is research. Research is divided into two: global research that everyone unlocks once researched, and faction research that only you can get. Completing global research will give you several technologies in your faction research section, and these are the ones that really matter. Research point is gained by the research output of nations, which is affected by the nation's GDP, GDP per capita, stability, democracy level, welfare, and research funding. But remember, you must compete against the other human factions to gain control of these nations. And even once you've already established yourself, another faction can launch a purge and kick your guys out or conduct a coup d'etat. Every single faction has a counselor, even the aliens, and if they're not careful, they can be detected. With a detected enemy counselor, you can send one of your counselors to begin diplomacy with the faction, arrest the counselor, and subsequently interrogate them for information, or, finally, assassinate the enemy counselor. But you must be careful who you piss off, because making too many enemies will only hinder your progress. This is what the alien conscience meter is, telling you how pissed off they are at you and whether you are fucked or not. The meter can increase if you, once again, fuck with the Protectorate, servants or alien counselors themselves, or rapidly increase your space presence through building satellites, habitats, and shipyards. Now we transition to the second phase of the game, space.
Space!
13.8 billion years ago, space was created. 13.8 billion years later, here we are, with Earth, the solar system, and the Milky Way. Why are we here exactly? Good question. That's a question that's been asked for countless generations spanning eons to the first humans on Earth. But for why we're here in space and not on Earth, where we're supposed to be defending it, that's a simple question with a simple answer. Resources. For every faction except the Protectorate and the Servants, space is the next logical step to go to, because this endless void contains juicy and yummy resources. And you need materials to either fight the aliens, escape the aliens, or profit off of the aliens. The entire solar system can be played, but if you have a Macintosh from 1979, you can scale the size down to only a few asteroids and 8 planets. You can begin expanding into space as early as 1955, but because the Cold War scenario hasn't been developed yet, 2022 is a good late game start. After you research the necessary technology, you can start sending out probes to other celestial bodies, starting with the Moon, then to Mars, then to the other planets' moons, and asteroids. After these probes reach their destination and scan the surface, they will reveal to you sites with what resources are in them. By sending an outpost, you can claim that site and start mining. You can also send satellites into orbit, any orbit, and have them be research stations or shipyards. There is one thing to consider. Space is fucking huge, and the laws of physics still apply. If you want to go to Mars, the most optimal and fastest way to reach it is to wait for the transport window, a period where the Earth and Mars are the closest. This will ease up the usage of boost and cut travel time. Speaking of boost, it's the primary resource you need to bring big chunky hunks of metal and plasteel up into space. Investing in boost production in nations will increase your boost income, and controlling nations that start with a lot of boost like Kazakhstan will allow you to speedrun getting into space. Not to mention, getting into space is expensive. Remember how in the Earth stage you have a lot of money laying around? In space, that stockpile is going to dry up really quickly. So you better tell the Federal Reserve to print faster. You're going to need that stimulus check. Things such as water, volatile materials, and nuclear material are needed to build outposts, bases, habitats, and of course, ships. These mining stations aren't just for show, because what you need to do now is create an armada. I'm going to be straight with you, I'm not a ship designer. I may be an astronaut, but my brain cells all flew out during my time in the human centrifuge, so I usually consume the results of hard labor put in by the scientists over at Kennedy Space Center. But that's not saying much since their brain seems to have a hole in it. So let's go on this boring journey together because you need to understand the math and physics you skipped class on in high school. Here we have the frame of a ship, where the components and organs of a ship will be contained. Now let's make this skeleton move. What we need is a drive. There are many of them to choose from, but what you should care about is these 3 results. Number 1, cruise acceleration. How fast your ship can boost and cruise across space. Number 2, combat acceleration. Basically how fast your ship moves in combat. Number 3, cruise delta V. Kerbal Space Program players will know this reference. Cruise delta V's value determines how far your vessel can travel to other celestial bodies. I'll leave the rest up to you, because I'm not a teacher here, I'm just an entertainer. I'm supposed to entertain. I'm the clown that's supposed to juggle balls in front of the king. Anyways, For a start, Terra Invicta is a refreshing game. It has a good amount of replayability, and most of all, there are no game-breaking bugs or even lag. I especially enjoy the Earth's Shadow Government stage where I infiltrate nations and take down my rivals through any means necessary. Manipulating politics to further my self-interest is always fun. But that's where the fun ends, because as soon as you get going and get past the early space, things get tedious. The game becomes a slog of battle after battle against the aliens, direct confrontations where you have no choice but to suffer casualties either in space or on Earth. You will feel your soul leaving your body as you continue to play this game. This is the reason why I've refused to play the game now, because while the Earth stage is extremely good, it eventually builds up to a very frustrating and exhausting climax of the repetitive building of ships, sending them out and fighting with them repeating. I recommend playing as the Protectorate and Servants to avoid this since you won't be fighting against the aliens, but for the other factions this is sadly an inevitability. You will piss off the aliens one way or another, and all you can do is watch as Moscow gets fucking glassed. Okay, now I know ratings are arbitrary, but if I have to rate this game, I say the whole game is a 7 out of 10 from me. The space portion really grinds my gears and there's literally nothing that can change my mind. If this game only has the gameplay on Earth, then it'll be an 8 out of 10. Because my guy, I can't lose another Corvette